Hey, this is Jay, and this is a quick tutorial for automatically getting YouTube data using n8n. So I actually kind of found this out by accident. I wanted to automatically pull my latest YouTube upload and be able to create posts out of it. But I happened to run across this YouTube RSS feed. So that saves you a ton of time and effort rather than going and setting up a YouTube app. So let's jump over to that real quick. So I don't know that most people even know that this is still around. But there is a posts functionality on YouTube channels where you can actually just post images or text right here with like a more community feature. So I wanted to be able to automatically create a post after uploading a video. So I mostly just wanted to look for my video being automatically uploaded. But that's where I happened to run across this YouTube RSS feed, which is actually super handy. All you have to do is go to this URL. So the YouTube/feed/videos.xml, and then just provide the channel ID for the channel you want. So it doesn't have to be your channel, it could be any channel, and plug it in at the end, and you will get a live feed of I think it's the most recent uploads up to like 10, maybe 15. So it's pretty limited. It's not a ton of data. And it also is just mostly just basic metadata as far as like title and description, that kind of thing. No transcripts or anything like that. But it's enough to be able to check for a new video on a URL or check for a new video on a channel. And not have to use the YouTube app or API. So again, you could just grab the channel ID from a YouTube channel. So it'd be after the /channel, and then plug it in at the end here after channel ID to be able to hit that RSS feed for that channel. You can also do playlists too, so that might be useful as well. So that's what we're going to use here. And I'm going to just go ahead and create a new workflow real quick just to kind of demonstrate how easy this is. So let's go ahead and save that and create a new workflow. So this could be just manually triggered. Unfortunately, so let's look at the YouTube nodes real quick. There is no YouTube trigger. That's mostly what I was looking for. I wanted a YouTube on upload kind of thing, but not an option here. But there are a lot of other options that could be really helpful. But this also requires, so if we wanted to get a channel, you need to create a YouTube credential. So to be able to actually use this YouTube account, you need to go to Google Console and create a client. So you need to create an app that can access the YouTube API and then create your client ID and secret. So it's not too difficult of a process, but it's a little bit laborious. So we will get back to that eventually. I do want to create a tutorial on that because there is some really useful functionality there. But in the meantime, we can kind of skip this because all we're looking for is just some basic YouTube data. I'm just looking for the fact that there's a new YouTube video. So instead of using the YouTube node, and I'm just going to use manual upload for now. I mean, that's fine. I actually just did a tutorial for using a Telegram bot. So you could actually set up maybe a Telegram trigger to say, hey, go download the latest video from, the video from the channel you have set up. So that might be an option. But for now, just going to do manual. And then the first thing we're actually going to do after that is do an HTTP request and just plug in that RSS feed that we did from before. So easy enough. So if we test it, we get an XML payload back with all that stuff that we were just looking at, which is really handy. So XML is not the easiest thing to work with though. So we're actually going to convert with n8n's XML node, and we can just translate XML to JSON, which is easy enough. So go ahead and test that. And there we go. And we've converted XML to JSON, which makes it much easier to interact with n8n, giving us our standard drag and drop functionality. So as you saw, I was just going to go to OpenAI and just use that to convert the basic details about the video into a quick post, just to give it a little bit different than just posting the description in the post. So we have all that data that we just got from the RSS feed. So if we scroll down here, actually, let's set the model real quick. So I'm just going to use 4.0 for this. All right. And then we need some text. So let's just say you are a social media writing assistant. Given the YouTube video details below, please write a short and engaging YouTube post that can be added to my YouTube channel posts section. Okay, and then we're going to say video title. And now we can pull that in from the data that we pulled out of the RSS feed. So if we scroll down here a little bit, we get to entries. So the first entry, starting at index 0, we'll grab the title of the video, drag that in. Cool. And then I'm also going to just give it the description, which is a little bit further down so you get to a media section here, media content, media description. I'm going to use the media description here. So that would be the description from the video. And there we go. I'm just going to say, do not use Markdown. Format your answer in JSON like this. And this is just a basic JSON object, just so that it's a little bit easier to predict and use in the future. So content here. Oh, and of course, let's make sure that we do not use hashtags. Do not use hashtags. All right. So we have a friendly social media writing assistant. Given the YouTube video description details below, please write a short and engaging YouTube post that can be added to the YouTube channel post section. Do not use hashtags. And then we give it the title of the video, the description of the video, and then say, do not use Markdown, just because sometimes it'll still default back to Markdown. It may still do it anyway. Format your answer in JSON like this, and we should be good to go. So simplify output is fine. And then we are going to output content as JSON, since we also instructed it to. And that should be pretty much it. It should be able to read that title and description and give us a short post. There we go. And then it even put it inside of inside the content object. We have a post key value. So we are good to go. So last thing is that, unfortunately, there's not a great way to post these. There's no API for YouTube posts. And even in here, there's nothing to do with posts at all. It's mostly just video. So that wouldn't even really be an option at this point. Best way would maybe to use some sort of browser automation. So like Selenium, or I don't know, even something like GPT's or OpenAI's Operator or something like that. But unfortunately, there's not a great way to get that content into the YouTube post. So we are just going to go with the classic content data bank. So I'm going to append a row, and then I have my social media content ideas sheet, and just on sheet 1, and it should map out our columns automatically. So content, platform, created date, status. So here I have a basic column for content. So that's where we'll put the content in, the platform, the created date, so the time that it added it, and the status, which is ready for review. So let's go ahead and fill that in real quick. So for the content, I'm going to post that content there. For the platform, I'm just going to hard code this to YouTube because that's what I'm creating this for, but obviously it could be whatever you want. For created date, I'm going to switch this to expression and say date time. There we go. Dot now. All right. And then for status, sticking with ready for review. That's really it. So that should append the row that we want. So let's go ahead and test step. There we go. That looks pretty good. So head over to the Google Sheet and verify. And there we go. GPT loves the word elevate. Elevate your social media game. So that looks like a success. So this is just a quick tutorial for using mostly the YouTube RSS feed. Again, unfortunately, there's not a great way to be able to automate posting these right now. So that's kind of where the content bank idea comes in instead, where you can just go ahead and, copy the content and drop it in here. Also, again, I wouldn't recommend at least posting directly from GPT anyway, just because a lot of other people are doing that. So you start to sound kind of like everybody else. So it's definitely worth reviewing, which is partly why I also have a ready for review status, just so you have a chance to look at that and maybe make it sound a little more human before you go and post it off. I will probably create a tutorial for actually connecting the YouTube app instead. Again, it's not a lengthy process, but it's a little bit more complicated than just plugging in an RSS feed. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If there's any other content you'd like to see, please let me know. In the meantime, I will continue to create tutorials like this. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.